Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks for being here. We're continuing on with our 2024 lineup series. Harley is releasing their 2024 lineups in two stages now. The first stage, which has just been released in the past couple of days, is all the bikes that don't have any significant updates other than colors and prices. So we're going to go through that list today. I test rode a lot of the 2023 versions of these bikes. I'll put video links up as we go along for those test rides. Also, a link to the entire 2024 series will be at the end of this video. The rest of the bikes that do have significant changes will be released later on. I think it's January 24th. As soon as I can get a video in, once those come through, I will do that so that we can get the updates on those. So let's get started. We start with the sport models. No significant changes for any of these this year, other than colors and pricing. But there is good news that I was hoping to see. Harley has dropped the price on the Nightsters. I would assume to make them more competitive with the Indian Scout, but we'll see. Starting with the base Nightster, which now comes only in gray and black. Price has dropped from $13,500 down to $12,000 for gray and $12,300 for black. This has the Max Revolution 975 engine with 91 horsepower and 72 foot-pounds of torque, 27-inch seat height, 3.1 gallon tank, 481 pounds, mid-mount controls, and a slight forward-leaning position. ABS is standard on this bike. The Nightster Special has four colors this year: black, gray, red, and orange. This has dropped $1,500 as well, starting at $13,500 for gray, $13,950 for the rest of the colors, black, red, and orange. This has a passenger seat, cruise control, slightly better infotainment. The handlebars are slightly higher, giving a little bit more of an upright riding position on this bike as well. Last of the sport models is the Sportster S. So much for price drops. This one has gone up $600 from $16,400 to $17,000 for gray, $17,300 for black, $17,450 for red, and $17,550 for blue. This progressive pricing is something they decided to do for a lot of the bikes. I'm not going to define each price for every color because that'll take too long, but I'll give you the range. This has the Max Revolution 1250T engine with 121 horsepower and 93 foot-pounds of torque, 29-inch seat height, 3.1 gallon tank, and 502 pounds. Forward controls and an aggressive forward leaning position, so you've got kind of that clamshell feel. ABS and cruise are standard on this. That's it for the sport models. We move on to the cruiser models. Of the 8 cruiser models, the only one missing from this list is the Fat Bob 114. I'm curious to see if this model is going to be discontinued or if they're doing some significant updates to it and releasing it later on in January with the rest of the updated models. The bottom of the list is the Softail Standard. This is also up $600, now $15,000 as a starting point. We continue with the gray and black theme. Gray is $15,000 and black is $15,350. ABS is extra on this. Last year we only had black, so I guess it's a little bit of an improvement to add the gray. Milwaukee 8 107 engine with 87 horsepower and 110 foot-pounds of torque. So no changes in power on the Milwaukee 8 engines. 25.8-inch seat height, 3.5 gallon tank, weighs 655 pounds, mid controls, and an upright riding position with tall bars on it. The upgrade to the Softail Standard is the Street Bob 114. This is exactly the same shape and size. It's the same as the Softail Standard except with the 114 engine, 94 horsepower, and 119 foot-pounds of torque. Again, the same as last year. We have the same progressive pricing. This is up $400 from 2023. Gray is now $17,000, black is $17,350, orange is $17,525, and blue is $17,650. Skipping the Fat Bob until we find out more about it, moving to the Lowrider S. Up $1,800 from last year. This now starts at $20,000. Same progressive pricing from $20,000 to $20,650 for gray, black, red, and blue. This one is blacked out. ABS and cruise are standard. This has a front cowl on it, mid-mount controls, and an upright position. Milwaukee 8 117 engine with 103 horsepower and 125 foot-pounds of torque, 27-inch seat height, 5-gallon tank, and weighs 679 pounds. The Lowrider S and the Lowrider ST are very sporty bikes, high-powered, low weight, so really good power to weight ratio, and really designed for aggressive riding. Alright, next up is the 2024 Fat Boy 114. This is also up $1,800, now starting at $22,000. Same pricing structure for gray, black, red, and blue, ranging from $22,000 to $22,650. ABS and cruise are standard, 119 foot-pounds of torque with the 114 engine. This has a 26-inch seat height, 5-gallon tank, and weighs 699 pounds. Floorboards are on here and a slightly more relaxed riding position. We have two models that start at $22,500. We'll start with the Breakout 117. This is up $2,300 from last year. Milwaukee 8 117 engine, like the Lowrider S. This one has 5 colors and only at 3 different prices. Gray at the base price, $350 more for black and $650 more for the other 3. Forward controls with floorboards and a stretched riding position. 25.6-inch seat height, 5-gallon tank, 683 pounds, with a long 66.7-inch wheelbase. The other bike starting at $22,500 is the Heritage Classic 114. This is up $1,300 from last year as a starting point. 2 trims. You have blacked out option and chrome option. You have 4 colors with the chromed out version and 3 colors with the blacked out version, ranging up to $24,350 with the 2 trim options and all the colors. ABS and cruise are standard. Upright riding position with floorboards, saddlebags, and windshield included. 119 foot-pounds with the 114 engine. 26.3-inch seat height, 5-gallon tank, and weighs 728 pounds. This is a fantastic entry into touring models. I actually had one for a couple of months until I decided I wanted to go back to a bike with a fairing on it. Last of the cruisers is the Lowrider ST, starting at $23,400, up $1,100 from last year. Frame-mounted Mini Shark fairing on this guy, smaller hard saddlebags, and a 117 engine. Mid-mount controls, only 3 colors, gray, black, and red, ranging from $23,400 to $24,150. 27-inch seat height, 5-gallon tank, 721 pounds. That is it for the cruisers. And if you're still here, I would invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I appreciate the support. Okay, moving on to the adventure models. The Pan America Standard is missing for now. We'll see if it gets updated. The Pan America Special has no significant updates other than colors and price. This now starts at $20,000. This is actually a $400 drop in price. 4 different colors with either the standard cast wheels or spoked wheels, with prices ranging up to $22,850. If you add the adaptive ride-in as well, which gives you an adjustable seat height. 150 horsepower and 95 foot-pounds of torque, which has more power than the Sportster S. 32-inch seat height, the adaptive ride takes it down to 31.1. 5.6 gallon tank, weighs 569 pounds. Moving on to the touring bikes, I've not included the CVO bikes because they typically get updated in the summer anyway, and of course we dropped the CVO Road Glide Limited 120th Anniversary Edition from last year because it's not the 120th year anymore. Of the 10 non-CVO touring bikes, we only have 3 to cover. The other 7 are being saved for later. The other 7 are the Street Glide, Road Glide, Street Glide and Road Glide Special, and the Street Glide and Road Glide ST, as well as the Road King Standard. Now, last year in 2023, they had the Highway King. That was a special model. I'm predicting that they're going to bring back the Road King Standard this year, but we'll have to wait and see. So first off, of the 3 remaining ones that don't have any significant changes, is the Road King Special. Up $1,000 from last year with a starting point of $25,000. This has 4 colors that take you up to $25,700. All of these are blacked out. This has the 114 engine, but this one has been tuned up slightly to 122 foot-pounds of torque instead of the typical 119. 26.4-inch seat height, 6-gallon tank. This weighs 807 pounds with the full-size saddlebags, but no windshield. ABS and cruise are standard here as well. The other 2 bikes are the Road Glide Limited and the Ultra Limited, which are the heavy-duty touring bikes from the Road Glide and Street Glide series that have the tour packs on the back. They both have a starting price of $32,500. This is a whopping $3,100 increase on the Road Glide Limited from 2023 and a $2,700 increase on the Ultra Limited. Both are blacked out, both have 5 colors that take the price up to $34,300. Both have the 114 engine with 122 foot-pounds of torque, have a seat height a little over 27 inches, a 6-gallon tank, and weigh over 900 pounds. The other bikes, the Road Glide, Street Glide, Road King Standard, all those, my guess is that the standard models are going to get a 114 engine, and maybe the specials will get a 117, and the STs might get a 121. That's one possible way they might do it. Or maybe they're going to make some tweaks in the infotainment system, but keep the 107, 114, 117 engine configurations, but give upgrades on the infotainment. We'll see. All of those are needed upgrades for these bikes in order to compete with Indian at this point, in my opinion. The last category to cover is the trikes. All 3 of them are here, so no major changes. We start with the freewheeler, now starting at $32,000, which is up $2,000 from last year. 3 colors ranging up to $33,500. This is like the Road King Special in its style. It's blacked out with a 114 engine with no stock windshield. Next is the Road Glide 3, starting at $35,000, which is up $2,000 from last year as well. 3 colors in the chromed out version and 3 in the blacked out version, ranging up to $37,100. This has the 114 engine and the fixed Road Glide style fairing. Last is the Tri Glide Ultra, starting at $38,000. This is up $1,500 from last year. Color options range up to $40,000. These are all chromed out, no blacked out versions here. This has the Tour Pack on the trunk as well as the Street Glide style Batwing fairing, also running the 114 engine. That's it for the models that don't have any changes. My opinion on these, I'm disappointed at the price increases. I keep seeing news bits that sales are declining for Harley and Indian, but they keep raising their prices, which seems to me like they're pricing themselves out of the market. I do like some of the color changes on the Harleys, the greens, the blues, the two-tone colors. I think they look really sharp. That's my opinion, even if they are overpriced. Before we go, let's talk briefly about how these compare to Indian. What I see as I look at my Indian 2024 lineup video is that Harley has raised their prices to match Indian specifically. The Road King Special is now the same price as the Springfield Dark Horse. The Limited and Ultra are basically the same as the Roadmaster and Pursuit. The Softail Standard is the same price as the Base Chief. Really, these 2 companies are staying neck and neck in terms of pricing, with some variations in there of course, but typically Indian tends to pull ahead with higher engine power, better infotainment features, rear cylinder deactivation on the bigger engines, things like that. On paper, Indian does look better, but you have to weigh out the dealer network, biker community, parts availability that comes with Harley. Bike specs aren't the only factor. Slow riding maneuverability versus highway speed comfort are a factor as well, so lots of things to consider if you're shopping between these 2 competitors. But one thing is for sure, despite both companies seeing a drop in sales in 2023, neither have done much to make their prices any more appealing to us, the consumers. It's getting harder and harder to justify the rising cost of these bikes, considering these are typically a hobby or a luxury pastime. So that is it as far as the Part 1 update of the Harleys. Please stay tuned. We've got some more updates coming up while we wait for Harley Part 2. Thanks for being here, everyone. Take care. God bless.